Good afternoon, everyone. It is Bridget here from Bridget's Kitchen, wishing you a very, very wonderful day from wherever you are joining me today for this little Cook the Book cooking class. And yes, the Cook the Book cooking class, we're doing a recipe from the yellow book, so from the first book, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. I thought I would do that with you guys today because it was actually a recipe that I've been using for a couple of years now, ever since I've been on my healthy journey. Which is my pulled chicken, and it's one of those recipes that is so incredibly easy to make. Literally, you put everything in a pot or in a slow cooker or in a pressure cooker, and then you let the pot do the work for you. Yet the results, anyone who tries your pulled chicken will think you've been in the kitchen for hours and hours perfecting this recipe, when all you really did was just stuck the ingredients into a pot and let the pot do the work. So I thought I would run through that recipe because I shared it in the yellow book, in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, the first book, and it's on page 140 if anyone's got the yellow book. And the recipe that you will see is it looks like that. So I've got the pulled chicken there, and I've actually served it with a bit of coleslaw in the book. That's the recipe. And I'm going to show you some other ideas on how you can also serve your pulled, not pork, chicken. It's chicken today. You could do pork as well, but this is actually pulled chicken. I'm going to give you guys some ideas on how you could, other ideas on how you could serve it, how we serve it, because this is literally one of my go-to recipes because I can put literally everything into a pot. Walk away and forget about it, get back online, do some work, do whatever I'm doing, come back, and the results are phenomenal. Like, it's one of those recipes where you can actually take the chicken meat apart with a spoon. You don't even need a knife. It is that incredibly tender, and it does it pretty much all on its own. So hello to everyone who is joining me today. To Miriam. Oh, well, Miriam's off to look after her hubby. Give our love to your husband, Miriam. You can watch it later on a watch party. If you are thinking, I can't watch it live now, you can always join in, go to Bridget's Kitchen. The video will be uploaded there, and you can watch it there at any time that you need it, day or night. It'll be uploaded there for you guys. But yes, it is pulled chicken today. Like I said, it's one of those recipes that has got multiple things that you can do with it. So it's not just, you know, the way I serve it, which is with coleslaw, which is delicious, by the way, but there's all these other ideas as well. And hi to Linda from Omokorua. Is that how you say it, Linda? Linda from Omokorua. Yes. Is that how you say it, Linda? Let me know if I got the pronunciation right. I hope I do. Don't want to mispronounce that beautiful, beautiful Māori name there. But yes, like, seriously guys, this recipe is perfect. It is one of those recipes that you can take with you if you're if you have to go to a potluck and you need to supply some food. Like, seriously, do this recipe because everyone loves a bit of pulled chicken, right? Because it's tender, it's flavoursome, and for us, the cooks, it's easy. But the best part, of course, it's gluten-free, it's sugar-free, it's dairy-free, it's low in fat. You know, it's all those wonderful, wonderful things that make it really healthy for our gut. Hence why it appears in the book, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. Bridget'sCookbook.com, if you want a copy of that, is still available. No Omokorua Tauranga. Did I get it right? I'm not sure yet, Linda, but anyway, Linda, love to you and love to Chris as well, who's joining us from Ipswich in Brisbane, I believe, Chris. Is that correct, in Queensland? So thank you for joining us today, guys. It is a good recipe. As I said, I've got a few ideas on how you can serve your pulled chicken. If you don't have the cookbook, the yellow cookbook, the very first cookbook, the Gut Reset cookbook. And hi to Karen from the Gold Coast. Karen, I'm coming to see you pretty soon. We're going to be doing a cooking class and book launch up your way. Keep an eye on Bridget's Kitchen. I'll let you guys know the dates of the Gold Class, I said it right the first time. Gold Coast cooking class and book launch in Queensland. We'll let you guys know all about that. But if you don't have your copy of Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, do not panic, because I shared this recipe that we're doing today on this video yesterday, which is like October the 30th, just in case you're watching this a little bit delayed. I shared that recipe on Bridget's Kitchen, free for you to download and to request the PDF yesterday, October the 30th, on Bridget's Kitchen on Facebook. You can download it for free, just in case you haven't got the book or you're waiting for your book to be delivered. It's all there for you. So the recipe is incredibly simple, and of course it's pulled chicken, so we are using chicken, and the type of chicken that you can use is completely up to you. Now in the book I say to use chicken breast, And the reason I say to use chicken breast from the yellow book is because the chicken breast has the least amount of fat. So if we really are wanting to control our weight, or we want to reset our gut, make that really, really healthy, then I would suggest you use chicken breast for this recipe, because it's just got a little bit less fat. I take the skin off the breast as well, so it's just the chicken breast meat, and I cook it that way. But you can also use chicken thigh, and you guys know that chicken thigh has got that little bit more fat running through it, so it's a little bit more unctuous when you taste it. You know, it's a little bit more delicious than breast. Breast is gorgeous, but it's not as delicious as chicken thigh. In fact, chicken thigh is my favorite part of the chicken. So you can use chicken thigh, you can use chicken breast. Chicken breast if you really are wanting to watch your gut health and watch your calorie count as well, because it's got the lowest amount of calories. So it's really good for resetting your gut. Me personally, I like to use chicken thigh, but there's another chicken that I like to use as well, which is chicken drumsticks. Because chicken drumsticks, let's just be honest, they work really well when they're either fast cooked or slow cooked as well. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys, depending on where you're at in your journey. If you are just starting out on your weight loss or health journey, you might find that breast is the best option for you. But if you are like myself and you know, we're not so concerned now more about weight loss, because you know, I've had a pretty good weight loss, it's a bit more about concerning myself about my health. So chicken still is a very, very lean meat, very good high quality protein, but there's not that much fat, but I can still use the chicken thigh, which is delicious, or the chicken's drum. And the chicken meat I've actually used today is chicken drum, and let me tell you why. It was on special. And I always love a bargain. I just like, yeah, chicken drums, let's do that. So I'm using chicken drums today in my recipe. And that's first thing. Have a think about what sort of chicken that you want to use, where you're at your journey. As I said in the book, it's breast, but you can also use thigh, and you can use drum as well. You can either remove the skin or leave it intact. I'll leave that up to you guys. You know where you're at, you know what you want to achieve when it comes to this journey. But for me personally, I've used drums today, and no, I haven't taken the skin off, so I'll show you guys a little bit that later. All we need to do, as I was saying, is put things into the cooker that we're using. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can cook this recipe. And in the book, in the yellow book, I've given you method for a fast cooked or a slow cook. So yes, you can use a slow cooker. Let me show you my slow cooker. It's exciting. Brace yourself. Brace yourself, it's very exciting. Check out this little beaut. How good is that? That is straight out of the 70s. Come on down so you can have a little bit of look. It's literally straight out of the 70s. I bought this at an op shop here in Sydney, and I absolutely love it. It is literally, it's your crock cooker. And I bet there are people out there who already have this, right? I know you guys have got one of these, but look at the color on it. Nothing gets as good as this. Isn't that great? This cost me $10. $10, and it's wonderful. So yes, you could literally put all the ingredients into your slow cooker. It could look like that, or it could look like whatever today's slow cookers look like. I'm not sure what they look like, because I'm totally in love with this orange goddess from the 1970s, which is the best thing ever. So what you would do is you would take all the ingredients from the recipes. You'll start with your chicken. That would go in first, right? I've got a question. Yes, Mahi, thank you.
Karen Thomas asked, do you use free-range chicken?
Do you use free-range chicken? Wherever possible, Karen, yes. If you can use free-range organic chicken, absolutely. But what I'm also very conscious about is some of us are on a pretty tight budget. So where possible, at all times, get the best quality chicken that your budget will allow. But if you're feeding a big family, if budget's really, really tight, then just get what your budget can allow. Because, you know, I can remember the days, not so very long ago, where we lived literally on chicken and rice, because that's all we could afford to buy. And I wanted to make sure I cooked food for my family, so we literally lived on chicken and rice with different types of spices and stuff every day, but that's how I would eat. And at that time, I couldn't afford to buy free range. I couldn't afford to buy organic. But I would rather buy something that I cooked personally at home for my family, that I knew was healthy and good for us, as opposed to going to the store and buying something cheap and processed. So really, really awesome question, Karen, because it's a dilemma for all of us, right? How do we think about this chicken? Because we want it to be humane, we want it to be RSPCA certified, all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, we have to be smart. We have to feed our families, and it has to be budget conscious. So if you can afford free range, go for it, because the flavor is going to be really delicious. If you can afford free range organic, even better. You know you're going to get an amazing product as well. But for people, if you can't afford those two, the fact that you're cooking food as opposed to buying processed garbage that's cheap is the best thing, right? That's the best thing. So we start slowly, right? We take these little baby steps, and as long as we're cooking, it's a really, really good thing. So let's just say I'm cooking in my really cool crock pot. What I would do is I would put all the ingredients into it. So I'm not going to make this because I've actually already made one in advance. I just want to show you guys what would happen, whether it's going into a slow cooker, which is here, or what I have here next to it is actually my pressure cooker. Ta-da! That's what it looks like. I would so rather buy that. This is what you get these days, eh? How boring. Look at this goddess compared with this kind of, well, it kind of looks like R2D2, but it's you know, but in terms of, there's no comparison. But the same concept applies whether we're cooking in a slow cooker or we're cooking in a pressure cooker. What I would then do is I would get my chicken. If you're removing the skin, please remove the skin from the chicken. Put that into your pot that you're using to cook, fast or slow. I would then take up my kombu water, and I've got a big pot. Oh, you guys can't see. Let me grab it. I've just been making my kombu water. I would then put in my kombu water into the pot. So maybe I'll put, I think it's about about half a cup of kombu water. Imagine I've got chicken in there as well. That will go in. That's my kombu waters in there, nice and warm. Really warm, my kombu water. That is going to provide the liquid, the much needed liquid in this dish. Now, by the way, we're talking about 1.5 kilos, which is about 3 pounds of chicken, whether it be breast, thigh, or drums. We're adding 120 mils, or about half a cup, or 4 ounces of kombu water goes in there. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding in some tamari. So tamari is our gluten-free soy sauce. If you can get a low sodium one, even better. I couldn't get a low sodium one today. This is the tamari brand from Coles in Australia, and we're also going to be adding about 120 mils of tamari. That is going to help to flavor this sauce. And if you're thinking that's a lot of tamari, you are correct. But what will happen once you've cooked this chicken, which is really, really cool, is you are going to be able to keep on using the juice. You don't throw the juice away. You take the chicken, you pull all the gorgeous meat off it, and you keep that juice for another time that you cook food. Like whether you cook it, cook some beef in here, or maybe you're cooking a little bit of lamb, or maybe doing some more chicken. Do not throw away the juice. The juice is liquid gold. So the tamari goes in about 120 mils. Once again, which is about 4 ounces, or half a cup of tamari goes in there. We are also going to add in some coffee. Now we want to add in some strong coffee. So I've literally got some really strong coffee grains that I'm putting in. It's about 3 tablespoons of coffee. And I know you're thinking, what? Why is she adding coffee to this? Just trust me on this. It won't taste like coffee, but what's going to happen is it's going to help to enrich that sauce, which is what we want to do. We want to enrich the sauce. So coffee's in there. I'm also going to add in some water as well. Another 120 mils of water goes in. That is the base, our liquid. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. You can see how much liquid. Imagine we've got chicken in here as well. So once we've got all that in there, we're going to start to add even more flavors. So flavors start with something like adding some freshly ground black pepper. And all these flavors, guys, is not only just going to help to flavor the sauce amazingly well, but your chicken is going to be phenomenal, right? It's going to taste so good. So we've got some pepper in there. I'm also going to add a spice called allspice, also known as pimento. So it's not a mixture of spices like mixed spices. This is actually a spice all on its own. It looks like a black pepper, pimento, and it's very, very popular in Caribbean countries, would you believe? And it goes perfectly well with chicken. It suits chicken so good. I'm going to put in some allspice. We're adding a couple teaspoons of allspice is going in there. We're also going to add in some chili flakes. You can, it's up to you whether you want to add chili flakes, to be honest. If you don't like chili, don't put it in. If you do, totally add it. Let's add some chili. I think in the recipe I've got around about a teaspoon, but you know, when it comes to spice, I want you guys to adjust accordingly. So if you like it a little bit more spicy, but here's a point, got to make this point, got to bring it up to my face so I make this point. If you like it a bit more spicy, add a bit more chili or add a bit more cayenne or whatever it is. But please be, or if you don't like it spicy, don't add it at all. Completely up to you. If you're cooking this for kids or for people who don't handle spice very well, leave out the chili. But please be mindful when it comes to chili. Chili has a tendency to inflame the gut. So if you are right in the middle of a gut health program or diet, or you're following the recipes in the books here, pull back on the chili because it may inflame your gut, making it a little bit uncomfortable. And remember, what we're trying to do is to reset your gut and heal your gut. So we're trying to strip off all the rubbish and make it really, really clean. So chili, especially on a clean gut, can actually be really obvious because it literally is go, whoa, I've just had some chili, haven't I? So what I'm saying is be aware, go carefully. And if you find that chili, like I used to be able to handle a lot of chili, I can't anymore because my gut's too clean. It just goes, not going to happen. So just be aware, chili can inflame the gut lining, which is a no-no if you really are wanting to reset and clean your gut out. So chili, up to you guys. Completely leave that up to you. The next spice we're going to add is one that you may think, are you serious? That doesn't go with chicken, and that's a little bit of cinnamon. So a little bit of cinnamon powder. Once again, we're looking at a couple teaspoons of cinnamon powder. We're literally creating the most gorgeous flavored sauce here. We've got a question. I'll pull you down, and Mahe's got a question for us.
Karen Thomas, do you freeze juice until next use? How many times can you reuse it?
Karen, I have frozen the juice on occasions when I've got quite a lot, but I actually find just by putting, cooling it down, the juice once the chicken's cooked, cool it down, put it in the fridge, and just like big containers, you know, in the fridge. And what you will also find, which is really cool, is once that juice cools down, you might get a bit of a layer of fat on top of it. Feel free to scrape that fat off with a spoon before you use it, but I find it normally lasts up to 2 to 3 weeks in the fridge. Once it's cooled down and set in, you know, sort of containers about that big, I strip the fat off that will naturally come to the surface when that liquid cools, throw that away, and you are literally left with almost like a gel. It is like literally a gel. It is amazing. So 2 to 3 weeks. If that's too long for you, pop it in the freezer for sure, and then it'll be in there for a couple months easy. So back to our spices. We've got our allspice, our cinnamon, our pepper as well. We've got some chili in there. You can also add a little bit of paprika, and the paprika that I'm using today, I absolutely adore. This paprika is called La Chinata. It is a Spanish paprika. And the last time I was at a food show in Dubai a couple years ago, I actually got to meet the grandson of the family who create, in my humble opinion, is one of the best paprikas I've ever tasted. It's smoky as opposed to just being, you know, paprika is kind of weird. This is the most smoky Spanish paprika. And when it comes to Spanish cuisine, they do use a lot of paprika. So if you ever see La Chinata on your journeys, it is worth your investment. Plus you get this really cool tin. Not many things come in a really cool tin anymore, so that's La Chinata. Like I said, it's a Spanish paprika and it's empty now. Look, I've used it all up. Very sad day in my house. It's all used up. So yes, La Chinata, amazing. Next trip to Spain, don't know when that's going to be. I would love to visit the farm because myself and Mahe, we had such a good time chatting to the grandson of the man who started La Chinata. It was just, yeah, absolutely incredible. So a bit of paprika goes in there. Of course, if you can't find La Chinata, and chances are you may not be able to because it's not readily available. It's a lot of gourmet food stores. You might be able to find it. If you can't find it, just buy yourself some paprika. Some smoked paprika is ideal as opposed to the sweet one. Just buy the smoked one. And okay, it's not La Chinata, but it's still going to be amazing, and it's going to help when it comes to the sauce, which is really important. So those are our spices. I'm also going to add some dried thyme to it, and I speak about this often. I love dried thyme and dried rosemary. I find the flavor just to be amazing. The smell is incredible. So a little bit of dried thyme or basil you could use, up to you. And we're using 2 teaspoons of that is going into the liquid as well. But of course we can't forget very important, you guys know what this is, right? This is my little container of chopped ginger, and ginger and chicken go really well. So I've actually got, would you believe, 3 tablespoons of freshly chopped ginger. I'm going to use it all because I'm off to Perth tomorrow. I don't want that sitting in the fridge. Guess what the kids are eating for dinner tonight? Well, I'm eating it as well, but guess what? We're all eating for dinner tonight before we go. So ginger goes in there. Let's, of course, add ginger's favorite companion, my favorite too, some garlic, freshly chopped garlic. I've got 8 cloves of finely chopped garlic, which is about that much. A couple tablespoons of freshly chopped garlic goes in there. And then you can also add a little chopped onion too. So I'm going to show you guys the dice that I use for the onion. Let me just move things along here. Because it is a dice, I find that the dice is definitely bigger. You don't have to use red onion, you could use white onion, that's completely up to you. Currently in the house I only have red onion, so that's good as well. So when it comes to dicing, and we're going to add a couple onions into our pot here, we're just going to cut it in half, is the best way. Obviously it's peeled, best way to do it. Now, with the root facing away from me, so the root's facing you, and I'm getting the other end, yeah? With the root facing away from me, I'm going to start to just cut down on the onion without going right through to the root, and just making some fairly chunky slices here. Remember, this is the best way to dice, fairly chunky. But I haven't cut right through, so you'll notice that it's still intact. The onion's still together because I haven't cut right through to the root. And then, now the root's facing away from you, you turn it to 3 o'clock. I've gone from 12 o'clock, and I've turned the root to 9 o'clock, if that makes sense. Just by giving it a little quarter turn. And I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm just cutting right through. And what I am rewarded with, just with that simple movement, is diced onion. That's the easiest way I can explain to you guys to dice an onion, just like that. That then goes in there. I'll show you guys one more time. Actually, I won't even waste that bit of onion, because you can totally use everything on an onion. That's the only part I'm going to throw away, just that little root. Goes into the sink. All right, once again, with the root facing away from you, I'm going to slice through the onion without cutting right through, so the onion remains intact. So it's like that, right? It's still complete. I've got slices in there, but it's not falling apart. Then we're going to turn the onion a little quarter circle there, so it's gone from 12 o'clock the root to 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to cut it again into this chunky dice, which is going to be ideal for this style of cooking. And we're just going to throw away that little root bit, and there we have our diced onion. How good is it, right? That goes in just like that. And as I was saying, imagine that the chicken's already in here, breast, thigh, drum, whatever you're using. We would then put the lid on, and if you're using a slow cooker, which is what this one is here, you could cook this in 4 hours on high, yeah? So it'll take about 4 hours to get cooked. If you're wanting to put it on overnight while you sleep or while you're at work, then you'll put it onto low, and you'll leave it there for 6 to 8 hours on low. Yeah, up to you guys. How versatile is that, right? Fantastic. So that's how you do the slow cooker version. I know a lot of us own slow cookers because they're so fantastic. If you own one like this, can you please show me? I want a photo, because this for me is just gorgeous, right? It's gorgeous. Now let's just say that you don't have a slow cooker, but you have one of these beauties, which is not as beautiful, like physically as beautiful, but it is wonderful to use. So this is a pressure cooker. The food is all obviously in there, the same type of system. That's pressure because it has been cooked in recently. You should see steam. You guys seeing steam? Hey. So the food goes just in like a slow cooker, right? And in fact, what you'll see in here, I'm going to take out the inner bowl. Without making a mess, because that would be terrible. Taking out the inner bowl. It doesn't matter what brand we're looking at here, by the way. This is a Breville, but my mother-in-law bought one from Kmart. It cost her $29, and she swears by it. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. But what we have in here is the final product. So this is all the ingredients that you saw me do earlier. But I'm using drums, remember? That is the chicken. I put that into the slow cooker on medium to high, and I set that on 30 minutes. So this is 30 minutes of cooking, whereas your orange beauty down there, which is your slow cooker, is sort of 4 to 8 hours of cooking. So the beauty of a pressure cooker is it cooks things really, really fast. So that was 30 minutes of cooking, got me to this point here right now. It couldn't be simpler, right? Hence why I love pressure cookers, because I'm just like, oh, I need it to happen now, and it absolutely does that for me. Now let's just say you don't have a pressure cooker, which is fine as well, and you don't have a slow cooker. Your other option, I love giving you guys options. Your third option is to put it into a heavy bottom casserole or pot. So this is a cast iron pot that I bought from Aldi. It cost me $22.95. It can be used on the stovetop. It can go into the oven. It is so super versatile. It is literally one of the best things I have ever bought in my life. And it cost me $22.95. You could throw it at someone if you had an intruder. You know, it's so versatile. It's incredibly versatile. But the best thing about it is it does give you that option to slow cook food. So you know how we put all the ingredients in? Just do that, then do this, and you can put it on your stovetop on the lowest possible temperature setting and leave it there for a couple of hours. But remember, because it's on your stovetop, you probably will need to go and stir it every now and then. Your other option is to put it into the oven, put all the ingredients in, put the lid on, bring it to the boil on the stovetop, and then put it into the oven, and you'll be having it on a really low temperature, but 120 degrees, and you can have it in there for 3 to 4 hours as well. So those are your 3 options on how you can cook this recipe. Why it, in my mind, is one of the most fabulous recipes, because slow cooker, fast cooker, pot, done, right? You are still going to get amazing results. The only thing that is going to change is how long it takes for you to cook it. Fast cooker here, 30 minutes. This will take you probably 3 to 4 hours. Your slow cooker on slow, 4 hours. Your slow cooker on high, 4 hours. Your slow cooker on fast, sorry, other way around. Your slow cooker on low, it'll take you 6 to 8 hours. Your slow cooker on high will take you about 4. So that's up to you guys, how you want to cook, what you're cooking it for, and how fast you want to eat it. So those are your 3 options. But let's now talk about how we're going to serve it. Because in the book, I talk about serving it with a coleslaw, which is so easy and so delicious, because we're literally going to shred the chicken from the bone or from the meat. You're going to shred the chicken, make it all pulled, and then you can serve it with a gorgeous coleslaw. That's number 1 way you could do it. You could also serve it as part of my gut healing bowls that I love to make, which is how I'm going to eat it today, as the protein sauce, right? You could put it through a stir fry, because you're just pulling the chicken back, which is really gorgeous. Or the 4th way that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to show you guys later on. So first way, let's go to that. First, let's have a look at the chicken. Let's see the results we've gotten from that half an hour cooking in the pressure cooker. So the first thing you'll notice, here it is I have lots of liquid, and it's a little bit hot. That's why I just want to show you guys. Look how much liquid I've got in there. That, remember, that is gold. Do not waste that. We're going to keep that. That is wonderful. But let's take a look at what's happening with the chicken. So a little plate here. Gonna take the chicken. Ooh, she's hot. Let me tell you. Well, look at that. Here we go. All right. So this wonderful little drum, looking spectacular. You don't even want to pull it when it looks like that. But let's see if we can pull it. I'm not doing anything to look. I'm not actually doing anything. There's nothing I need to do, because it is literally. Don't forget, there is that one little bone and the drumstick. Don't forget to get rid of that. That's not good. But it is literally so tender, I'm just going to mash it with a fork. Look at that. Can you imagine how good that tastes? I'm going to show you how good it tastes. Oh my god. It tastes pretty good. So that is 30 minutes of cooking in the pressure cooker. And I have chicken that I can mash with a fork. I mean, geez, it doesn't really get much better than that. So I'm gonna just take that one, put that to the side. I'm gonna do another bit of chicken here, so you can see it wasn't a hit job. I didn't set it up. It's really hot, which is good. But once again, just look. Okay, I'm gonna show you how easy it is. That was with a fork. Let's try and pull it with a spoon, just to show you. Remember that little bone? There he is, right there. What? throw him away. I just want to show you guys how easy this is. And this is 30 minutes of cooking in your pressure cooker. And you get this result. It is just so amazing. Like, if you brought this to a dinner party, you would be a rock star. Because everybody like, oh, it's so tender. Look at it. And look at it. It is so tender. It is amazing. One more for luck. I've got 1.5 kilos of chicken in here. It's actually quite a decent amount of chicken. And the bone is licked clean with me not having to do anything. Except for take the chicken, remove the chicken with a spoon, the meat. And remember that little bone? There it is. There it is. Got it again. Third time's a charm. And we are left with that. Tender chicken. You could literally just eat it like that right now. But let's have a bit of a think about other ways that we can eat. We can utilize it because it's nice like that. Don't get me wrong. It's gorgeous. You know, a little bit of that juice. Let's just take a little bit of that juice and just pour it over as well because, you know, we love the juiciness of the product of the food as well. And just, you know, that natural juice that came out of that cooking is going to be so gorgeous. What the other thing we can do, which is really, really cool, is start to add things to it. So as I was talking about, I just made a really, really simple coleslaw, which is in here with some, which is basically just very finely shredded cabbage, some herbs, whatever fresh herbs you have. Maybe it's mint, maybe it's coriander, completely up to you. And then you take that lovely big, you know, side of coleslaw and those fresh herbs, and you have such a gorgeous meal. You could literally serve it like that, and that is one of the most gut healthy meals that you can have. Yet you are going to be eating like a king or a queen. But if you wanted to as well, take the juice and use that to dress the coleslaw a little bit. 100%. That is going to be so delicious. That is going to be so delicious. Sorry, I got excited. That is going to be, I'm excited because it's lunchtime. That is going to be so delicious. All we need to do is just, maybe just a little pinch of salt over it, just a little pinch, nothing too major. A little black pepper, just like that. And you have lunch prepared, and that is going to be absolutely gorgeous. And that is worthy of taken to a barbecue, that is for a picnic, that is for family coming around. That is a good meal. It's also really good for meal preppers because you can prep the chicken in advance and then continuously, you know, have it in different types of meals as you're going throughout your week. You could also take all these ingredients here and stir fry them. Think about that. Take all the ingredients you have here and throw it in a wok with a little bit of my sticky sauce. That would be phenomenal. Just with the coleslaw, but you're just gonna heat it up and you're gonna fry it a little bit in my sticky sauce with some chicken. Like seriously, how good would that be? So that's another way that you can have it. Another way that you can have it is my gut healing bowl. So taking up yourself a bowl, I'm going to steal the chicken from this plate just so you can sort of see how I start these bowls off. So when it comes to my gut healing bowl, I always have a really nice protein, good quality lean protein. Chicken obviously works really, really well, and this pulled chicken is incredible with it. So I would start off with something along those lines, just like that. I then would either take some of that coleslaw if I've got it, but usually what I find that I do have on hand all the time is I have fresh mesclun or mixed salad greens. Always go in. They're a great little filler and they look fantastic as well. So you would do something like that. I could just grab a few of those little bits of coleslaw and just sprinkle them on top. Bit of texture is always really, really nice. So already we've got a pretty good looking bowl, right? You got to admit, already we've got a pretty good looking bowl. The only other things that I would add to it is some pickles. So I've got my pickled vegetables here. You guys all know have you guys got my Nanny's pickles recipe? So delicious and so good. Oh my gosh, look at the pickles. I've got today in my pickle jar. I only added to it a couple days ago. I have red cabbage. I have asparagus because it's on special because it's in season. I also have fennel in there, and I have some celery, and I have some cauliflower. So a pretty robust looking pickled vegetable and some really good flavors. So I'll definitely add some pickles, whether it be pickled vegetables, pickled onions, of course, my gorgeous pickled onion recipe. And if you want my pickled onion recipe, it is in the green book here. Can you see the green book there? Morefrombridget.com has all my pickle recipes in it. I've got some pickled onions here, of course I do. So some pickles can go in there. This is looking pretty good already, right? Who's coming over for lunch? This is looking pretty good. Pretty amazing. And then you could also add something like some fresh vegetables as well. Like maybe you're going to add an avocado, or maybe you want to add, like me, you're going to add some fresh, ripe tomatoes. And these tomatoes are sensational. They are so gorgeous. Look at them, so ripe. You can just tell by the color that you're going to enjoy eating those tomatoes, right? So this would be like my gut healing bowl. So it's a little bit more substantial, but it is, everything in here is amazingly good for our gut. It is amazingly good for weight loss. It is amazingly good for diabetics. It is amazingly good for anyone who suffers from IBS. Any of those wonderful things here, this is the type of way that I eat. Just let me slowly just move it around so you can see. Pickled vegetables look amazing, pickled onions. We've got our tomatoes. We've got that wonderful pulled chicken there. And then we've got that lovely salad with a few pieces of coleslaw as well. So the last one I'm going to show you guys, the very last one is, I'm not going to say it's naughty because nothing here is naughty, everything is good. I made some of my quick English muffins. So if you have more from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, the green book there, the recipe is in there, and as well as getting the cookbook, if you buy more from Bridget.com, you also get my free ebook which has this recipe as well. So these are my quick English muffins. They take 90 seconds to make, and I've literally just created healthy, gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free bread, just like that. So you know what I'm going to do here, don't you? Of course you do. I'm going to pretend that I'm not breaking up my gut healthy bowl. Just want to show you guys. We are now going to make something that is going to drive everyone insane. Here, oh, come here, lettuce. I'll add you later. Big, healthy, heapy pile of our wonderful chicken goes on. I'm also going to add some of that gorgeous juice. It's going to begin to soak in to the base of that wonderful quick English muffin. Give it some moisture. I'm going to add as well some of my coleslaw that I made earlier. Some of my coleslaw. Going to add some of that lettuce too on top. You could add avocado right now. Anything you basically want to make your little pulled chicken sandwich an absolute delight. I'm going to add one more thing to it, which is going to seriously take this over the top in terms of flavor, in terms of moisture, and in terms of, oh my goodness, I need to eat it. And the last thing I'm going to add to it was actually the video I did here on Bridget's Kitchen yesterday, which was my oil, egg, gluten, dairy, sugar-free mayonnaise. Guess what's going to go really well with this? Check that out, guys. How good is this? We're going to put on the lid, and look what you've got. Look at that. Who wouldn't want to eat that? That is stunning. Oh my God, look at that gorgeousness, right? That is stunning. So many wonderful, beautiful ways that you can use your pulled chicken. If I've said pulled pork a few times, I apologize. You know what it is, it's pulled chicken. This is just one of them. Gorgeousness right there, that's lunch definitely. But you know, coleslaw, gut healing bowls, stir fries, all these wonderful things from one recipe. I give it to you with love. I thank you for joining me today. We're off to Perth tomorrow for our book launch and some cooking classes in Perth. If you are still wanting to come to the book launch, I think we have a couple of available spaces for the book launch on Sunday. The cooking classes are all sold out, unfortunately, but we have a couple of spaces available for the book launch. If you want to go, Mahay's going to throw up the link for you guys now. Don't forget, we still have both books available as well. More from Bridget.com or Bridget'sCookbook.com. You still get that ebook too. Mahay extended the offer because he's an amazing man. All right, guys, it's lunchtime in our house. Wish me luck. Great to see you all. Thank you for joining me. I'll speak to you guys tomorrow because it's Q&A session tomorrow as well. Don't forget, Friday Q&A tomorrow from Perth. All right, guys, take care. Talk to you soon. Bye.